Uh, so I hope you're all doing great. Um, I thought I would I thought I would go over this. This is not working. Why isn't this working? There we go. I thought I would kind of show the project I'm working on. This is something I've wanted to work on for a long time. Everybody remembers when I worked on this guy. Everybody remembers the sprite I worked on. Everybody remembers that I was going to work with someone when making this game. I was going to work with them and it just didn't work out. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to drag up stuff, but so I just kind of wanted to give you a look-see at what I've been working on. Um, and just see how it's coming along. Maybe you'll learn a few things about the software in the meantime. I've had a great little community that's been teaching me, and that's how I figured out how to do a lot of things here. Yeah. So these are early stages. I haven't learned everything. There's a lot I want to do that I can't do, and it might just be the software itself. I'll have to wait for updates maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. Yeah, nobody in there right now. Okay. So keep in mind there are placeholders. This game has placeholders for now. I'm still working on the tile set. I'm still working on a lot of visual aspects. I'm a graphics guy. It's what I like to do. I like to work on graphics. Yeah. Yep, love working on graphics. Kind of just kind of want to get into it, see, kind of show what I've been doing, show some future plans, talk about the combat, and hopefully I can do this within a span of 30 minutes or less. So let's get into it. Let's do a little test run. Music is placeholder. I know it's not my music. There's still a little shimmer in the background. We basically just teleported to another area. Ah, crap. That's not good. It set me back. Let's kind of make it bigger so you can see it. You can still see the wobbly, wibbly wobbly in the background a little bit. It fixes when you get to the far corner. But then it starts wobbling again. I got moving platforms working. It's a moving platform. And I haven't properly set the door up to work how I want it to work, but we'll get to that eventually. I want to get people's feedback on this forest. I decided to have a foreground, but if people think that might be a bad idea, I can get rid of it. If it's too obstructing, I made the tree trunks kind of see-through, so you can still kind of see what's taking place. This is all I really got for the moment, but really got to hang in the background stuff. The wibbly wobbly is still noticeable here, just not quite as noticeable. That's really all I've got for the moment to show off as far as gameplay goes. He's got his jump, and I want to go over to the combat in a minute. What I'm gonna do for combat, I should say. He looks good when he's idle. Kind of bounces to the music. I'm really liking what I've got so far. Got to come up with a means for death, I guess you'd say. A means for death. I got to come up with a means for death. In other words, falling off into the pit, getting hit by things. I got to work on the combat. Let's talk real quick about combat. Fighting things is, well, when you fight things, it's not like I thought about this for a while. I'm thinking about making 2 games. All right. I'm gonna make a sequel after this, but the sequel will be far more explorative. This is a prequel, which is gonna be linear and level based with levels and bosses. Nobody here, nobody watching me. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and go up here. No, we don't want to go there. We're going to go to the animations. We want to go to the player. No, not him. That's the old Andy. It's not the new Andy. There's the new Andy. Yeah. He's the boss, man. He's in charge, man. He's the bomb. Anyhow, so that's his idol. We've seen that. Wait. Jump. And he has an attack. This is his attack. Yep, not much to it. That's it. Boom. And he attacks like that because, and this is going to be easy too, when I go to give him his, because he's going to have a separate animation for his jump. That's going to be easy to put together. I'm just going to basically combine probably this lower half with his attack's upper halves. So when you're in the you're up in the air and you're, attacking with the weapon he's gonna have, it still looks like he's swinging it, but yeah, I gotta work on that. Anyhow, so he's going to use a yo-yo, and he's basically going to use that yo-yo, basically like a lot like a lot like the Belmonts use their whip in Castlevania. He's going to use basically a magic yo-yo, and that's going to be his use for combat with things. He's going to clonk things with it. I haven't gotten to work on the sprite work yet for the enemies, because I have a hard time visualizing what I want in my head and then making it come to fruition. I have a hard time doing that. Just figuring out how it's going to look, how the character's going to look, and how it's going to animate, yada yada yada. What kind of enemies that I want, their movement and everything. It's all going to depend. The visual aspect of it is going to have something to do with gameplay itself, movement and whatnot. And I always think about that. But yeah, boom. He flings it and then flings it forward. Blink, blunk, 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 blunk. Yeah, I'm funny. Blunk, blunk. Okay, I'll stop now. So that's gonna be the combat. Hey, gaming in gaming in drinks. I don't know. I can't. I'm yeah. But that's what I've got so far. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to have discussions with people because people don't step in right away, and I'll sit here for a while talking, and by the time anybody steps in and wants to talk, I'm already talking to the camera. It's like and I've gotten to where I never know when I'm gonna do live streams anymore. It just happens when it happens. Anyhow, I haven't figured out everything with this software yet, but yeah. So that's basically what I've got so far. These are some of the visuals I've got so far. I put this place down as a jungle, but I'm probably going to make it a forest. It just looks more like a forest to me. You know, especially with that upper layer, the foreground. There's a foreground that scrolls by, and you know, I kind of find it unusual that whenever I'm looking at everything from the editor, it looks different than when the game is executed. For instance, the light ray in the background doesn't look as bright, I guess you'd say. But the moment I actually get into that area, it actually looks a lot brighter than it looks on in the editor. I guess it's a difference in rendering. I don't know why that keeps going up in the corner. Ah, dang it. I haven't set up death and everything. And I'm not sure how I feel about his jumping. See, this is what I mean. I mean, you can look at the background back here and see how dim it is. But it comes out more bright here. It's just something I noticed. I've also come to realize there's not a lot of options for the layering. You can't tell a layer to have a lighting effect. I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Well, in RPG Maker as well as Super Nintendo, you can tell something to just be straight up transparent, or you can tell it to have a lighting sort of thing. So whenever it's in front of anything, it lights it up certain ways. Just, yeah, it's hard to explain, but this software doesn't have that. I still need to make some assets for this thing right here, this level. And when I say assets for this level, I mean, like, I'm thinking about bushes. I'm thinking bushes would be nice. What do y'all think? Bushes? Bushes? I think that's a good part of the landscape. I'm thinking I also might draw little graphics of like corpses maybe, or bones. Like goofy little bone patterns and sit them inside the soil. I think that might be cool. I can use the decoration layer. There's front decor and basically the back decor. And it's basically stuff that doesn't move. It just sits sits either in front of the character or behind the character. Either behind what's on this layer or whatever. Then of course you have all these other layers that I use that are used for actual scrolling and panning and everything. Same thing here. There's the foreground that pans, the front decor, which I haven't used yet, but I'm going to. I mean, I could just make the graphic and lay it in the same layer, but I don't think I want to do that. I think what I want to do is I want to just use the decoration layers and just kind of put whatever graphic in the dirt on that layer to be a little easier. Just be a little easier. So these are all just me. For now, I'm just figuring everything out, and I'm kind of goofing around a little with everything, and that's about it. I gotta think about power-ups too. Like, you have to have power-ups. Maybe the whip or his yo-yo itself will have power-ups, and I gotta figure out what am I gonna get the power-ups from. And I'm thinking about just having the enemies drop power-ups. Specific enemies will drop power-ups. That's what I'm thinking about doing, because I don't want to copy anything too much. So I'm thinking that getting power-ups will be from just enemies. Just an enemy will drop it. And I think that'll work. I think that's good. As for the types of enemies, I don't know. I haven't quite grasped how to make AI and everything for enemies. I haven't really gotten that far yet, so I'm learning as I develop. So eventually I'll just I'll get it when I get it. These are all the layers. Now, something I figured out with this software, if you hit this right here, do it again. It doesn't show you, it barely shows you anything. And then when you tell it what layer, it lights up. There's the layer you're actually on. That way you know what you're working with. There. There. Nothing there. That's the light source layer. That's some trees in the back, and then the very back trees, and then the gradient. You can click it again, and it'll just light it all up for you. No, it's not an RPG. It's a platformer. It's a platformer slash action game, basically. Yeah. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. It's an action platformer. Yeah. It'll be level based. You'll go from level to level. And then if I make a sequel, the sequel will be more explorative. It'll be more like a Metroidvania if I make a sequel. But for now, this game particularly, it's just a platformer to get my bearings. I didn't want to think too big, because if I think too big, then I'll have trouble getting things the way I want them. So, as soon as I can figure out, or as soon as I get combat set up, as soon as I get enemies placement, I have to make the resources first. Actually, I don't even have to make resources. I can just draw a block. I can draw a box and use the box just for testing purposes before I develop the enemies, just to get everything set up. But yeah, it's a platformer. It's a, you know, action adventure platformer. And then after I'm done developing this game, then I'll probably move on to other more complex things. There was a Castlevania game that I was working on, but it's on the back burner. And the reason that it's on the back burner is because there's stuff I can't do with this software currently, and I don't know if they'll ever add what I need them to add. But if they ever add what I need them to add, then I'll be able to do it. And right now it's hard to make, it's hard to create an atmosphere. If I want something to just kind of scroll by like a fog or something, I can't do it. It just doesn't have those features right now. The software just doesn't have yeah, it just doesn't have the features right now. It doesn't have any of that stuff right now. I'm gonna have to wait until somebody until they add stuff. I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on them to add stuff, basically. This software is still early in development, but it's not that hard. It's actually pretty good. The layout is not difficult to manage. To find things that you need to find isn't hard. The UI is good, in my opinion. This is a good UI, in my opinion. I think they did well with this. Not everyone would agree, but I guess I don't care. But I'm enjoying using this, even though I haven't completed anything yet. I am enjoying using it, and it's not even officially released right now. It's still early access for this software. So I'm sorry I keep flicking back to that. And I wanted to do this live stream before too long. I didn't want to keep going too long, so I'll probably have to cut it short soon. But I've still got a lot to learn. I've still got a lot going on with this. And I for now I have music is a placeholder. The music is a placeholder. I'm still figuring everything out. So, all right, that's basically all I wanted to do with this live stream. Is just basically just talk about what I'm working on. That's about it. I'm pretty much done. I've showed off what I'm working on. I just wanted people to see why they haven't seen me on camera too much, is because I've just been I've been zoned in on making these graphics and everything, and making these assets and using this software. I've just been constantly. I'm actually enjoying using this software. It's fun. It's fun once you get used to it. You get the hang of it and you figure out what you're doing. It's actually very fun software to use. But yeah. All right. So I'm out for now. I'm gonna get back to work, and then I'll probably make another. Thank you. I think it's looking good too. I think it's looking pretty good, and hopefully the visuals continue to improve. I'm the one that sat here and did all these tile sets, so I'm still working on stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stick in a like I'm thinking about sticking in like things in the dirt. Things that's in the dirt and things that's on the land, like bushes. So probably gonna have different bushes. Maybe some shrubs. And then stuff that's in the dirt. Yes, it is. What is it? I'm back and forth seeing the comments that are being left to me. What is it? What's what? Yes, it is. Fun to use, the software? I'm going to assume that's what you're saying yes it is about. It's a lot of fun, actually. I was put off at... I'm still put off. There's certain aspects of the software that still puts me off. Puts me off meaning... I'm still kind of irritated with it. I don't like how they... I don't like the approaches that they've taken. Right now, I'm having trouble getting this stuff down right here. I want to make a door that literally opens and you go through it. And I haven't been able to set it up how I want it. Oh yeah, that's what I needed to do. Main. That's it right there. Right behind that. Yeah, I forgot to do that. I gotta set this thing right behind the door. This is what's behind the door when the door flings open. Oh no. Oh no, that is not the layer you go on. There we go. So when the door flings open, this is what you'll see. You'll see this hatch right here. That's what's behind the door. And the character will fade through it. Once I figure out how to do that, the problem with this the problem is that there's no real way to well, there's no easy way to set up an object, which objects are basically like they're pretty much the equivalent of events, like RPG Maker's events. But instead of using them to teleport, you literally use something called a transition, which that's not a good name. I wouldn't call it transitions. I would call it I would have called it teleporting or something. I wouldn't call it transition. For me, a transition is the effect you see when you transition. Like up here, screen sequence. I wouldn't call it a screen sequence. I would have called it a transition, but yeah. So I have to figure out using objects and whatnot. Yeah, because see, it'll literally open up. See, it'll open up, and you'll see that other door behind it, and then yeah, it'll open up, and then the character will fade into that dark space, and then the door will basically close. See? Boom. And that's what it'll do whenever you go through the door. That's what I plan to have it do. And honestly, when I think about it, I don't know why I want to do that. Why would I want to do that? No, I'm serious, because this game isn't really it's not a I mean, the door might be useful for going between like sub areas, but when I really think about it, when I really think about it, I don't really need that. Not really. Each level is literally a level. You're not really exploring yet. Exploration will be left for the sequel, so I don't know why I'm bothering with this whole door mechanic to begin with when I think about it. I should probably save that for another time and just come up with whatever I'm going to come up with for getting to the goal. What will the goal post be? Will the goal post be a well, it could be a door. It could be a door. Walk to the end, go through the door, and bam. Beat the level. I could do that. I actually could do that. And then have it go to the next level. Since this whole game is level based, I gotta think this stuff out. I'm not thinking it out completely well like I need to be thinking it out. I think I'm trying to do too much too soon. So, yeah. Yeah, transition is not what I would have called it. I wouldn't call it a transition. A transition is the effect. Transitions. A transition is when you see... I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be, but I think a better name would have just been calling it... I would have called it teleport. I would have put right here, teleport. I would have called this teleport. Teleport. And then screen flow, which I haven't completely figured out screen flows yet. And portal transfer. Once I get further along in development, I'll have to see. I'll have to try and find a composer. I'm gonna have to try and find a composer to make music. Find somebody to make some music. That is not gonna be easy. But that's how far along I am. That's what I got going. And that's the other thing. I gotta think up the different worlds you go through. There's gonna be a desert-like areas, forests. Maybe I'll make a factory. A factory would be cool. Some kind of factory. Going through a factory would be cool. What else? Trying to think of what kind of levels I'll visit. Maybe some castles. Yeah, maybe I'll visit some castles. Well, I have a desert level. May as well have a pyramid that you enter. I can have a level that's inside a pyramid. I should do that. Yeah, I'm thinking about what kind of levels to make. Desert, maybe ice, but I don't know how to. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't want it to be repetitive. I really don't want it to be repetitive. But that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day with this. I didn't want to live stream, but for 30 minutes, and it's almost 30 minutes now, so I have to stop. And I have to go, and I have to do other things. It's getting late in the evening. I just wanted to kind of. I'll see you later. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off now. I don't have the internet to sit here and do a lot of live streaming. Have a good one.